The screen is visible now
Yes.
properly?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So, hello everyone. Welcome you all for NTA lecture. So first of all, we can revise what we have completed in the last lecture, in the previous lecture, and then we can start for today's content. In the last lecture, we have completed the prerequisite which required for subject as well as which required for unit number 1. So in the previous lecture, we have completed the super mesh analysis, and also we have solved one example based on the super mesh analysis. And after that, immediately we have started the unit number 1. So unit number 1 is circuit analysis and network theorem. That is the name of that chapter. So in that, according to our triple P, we have started the unit number 1 from the syllabus. What are the content are we are going to learn in the unit number 1. Next, then after that we have seen what will be the course of course objective or course outcome related to this unit number 1. Then after that we have discussed what do you mean by the title of this particular chapter. म्हणजे त्या टायटलचं जे काय सर्किट अनालिसिस अँड नेटवर्क थेरम्स त्याचं मिनिंग काय. Then central idea of the chapter, then importance of this chapter means why we are learning. So that all part we have completed. Next, after that we have discussed about which books we have to refer for this particular unit number 1. So all these points we have discussed. And after that we have completed the types of sources. So in detail already we have discussed in the prerequisite part, but as that part is mentioned in the unit number 1. So again we have taken the revision of that particular point, that is the types of sources. So up to this point we have covered in the previous lecture. Now today we are going to continue the next point, that will be the types of network elements. Okay, so actually types of sources we have completed, and types of network elements we can discuss it. So types of network elements, following are the types of network elements. So there are the 4 types. Just wait. Okay. So there is some spelling mistake I corrected here. So we are going to discuss today the types of network elements. So already we have discussed what do you mean by network. Anyone can tell? What do you mean by network?
It is an interconnection of circuit.
Yes, very good. So it is an interconnection of circuit or loops we can consider. So what are the type of elements now we are going to discuss? Actually network means already we have gone through different networks, different circuit, and we have understood the different circuit analysis method, that is voltage division, current division, KVL, KCL, how to use, then how to apply the nodal analysis, super node, mesh, super mesh. So in that we have all these circuit analysis methods we have applied for networks only or for circuit only. But what are the types of network elements that we are going to understand? Okay, so all we are not using, but before starting our this particular unit number 1, we have to understand what are the types. So first type is active elements and passive elements. So we are going to use only the voltage sources and current sources which acts as active elements. So active elements are the transistors, then JFET, MOSFET, SCR, triac, diac. So these all are the active elements, actually active devices, but out of which we are consider only the voltage sources and current sources as active elements. Okay, सगळे active elements आपण consider करायचे नाहीत. only the sources which will deliver the energy. Next, passive elements. So passive elements already I told number of times: resistor, inductor, capacitor. So in detail we can discuss. First we can highlight what are the four types. Second one is linear elements and non-linear elements. Third one is bilateral elements and unilateral elements. And fourth one is lumped network and distributed network. So these are the four types of networks that we are going to understand. आतापर्यंत युनिव्हर्सिटीमध्ये याच्यावरती क्वेश्चन विचारलेलं नाहीये. नो क्वेश्चन वॉज आस्क्ड इन द युनिव्हर्सिटी in the any MCQ or on any questions, direct questions, not asked it, but it is required for understanding of this subject. Okay. Now next we can understand one by one. We can this theoretical part we can finish because this is all descriptive part. Active elements and passive elements. So I already told that active elements are those which will deliver the energy or power to the other elements which are present in the given electrical circuit or given electrical network. म्हणजे जे देण्याचं काम करतात, एनर्जी देण्याचं काम करतात. So sometimes they may absorb the power. It depends on the condition in the circuit. Okay. Next, that means active elements have the capability of both delivering as well as absorbing power. Means sometimes dependent voltage source, dependent current source, they are depends on some another value. Okay, if the value is there, then and then they can consider as active or passive. So it is a special case where they act as a absorber, but most of the times they are acting as a content or power delivery. So examples I already told that voltage sources and current sources acts as a active elements for our subject or our electrical network. Next, passive elements. Passive elements never deliver the energy or power to the other elements, but for some cases it will deliver. In which cases, if we are using the charged capacitor, if we are using charged inductor, already charge केलेलं, मग ते already ते discharge करतात. त्यामुळे most of the times we are using passive elements as a resistor, inductor, and capacitor, which will accept, which will absorb the energy from the active elements present in the given network. So examples are resistor, inductor, capacitor. So these are the definitions and what are the functions played by these elements, and the examples of these elements are given in the first point. So any questions from this point? Everyone understood now difference between active elements and passive elements. Now next, linear elements and non-linear elements. So for our subject NTA, network theory and analysis, we are dealing with only linear elements. We are not talking about non-linear elements throughout this chapter, because we are using linear elements only. That is what voltage source, current source, next resistor, inductor, capacitor. So if you are drawing the diagram of voltage versus current, if you are drawing the graph, so that graph is a linear passing through origin. It may be voltage source ला असं constant येतं, DC voltage source वगैरे. So generally consider as a passive elements, and if you are taking that passive element and if you are taking the voltage versus current graph, that graph should be linear. Okay, so that's why the linear elements are the elements that shows a linear relationship between voltage and current. So what are the examples? Resistors, inductor, capacitors. These are the linear elements, and the entire subject is dealing with only linear elements. Next, non-linear elements. So non-linear elements are those who does not show a linear relationship between voltage and current. मग त्यांच्यात relation कसं असेल? Any curve will be there. Any curve. If you are taking the example of PN junction diode, मग PN junction diode जर तुम्ही graph बघितला, so this is the voltage versus and this is the current. If you are drawing the graph, so that graph is like this. Such a graph will be there for PN junction diode. Okay, so in that case, it is not a straight line. It is not straight line, or it is not passing through origin line. So this is called as non-linear graph. So the elements which shows which non-linearity, So that elements are called as non-linear. Okay. So this is the difference between linear elements and non-linear elements. So non-linear elements, sometimes voltage sources, current sources, then diodes, p-n junction diode, Zener diode, transistors, FET, MOSFET. Okay, so these all are the acting as a non-linear element. SCR mana, triac, diac. So all devices you can learn in the ECAT subject as well as in the third year also you can learn. Next one, the bilateral and unilateral. So bilateral elements are elements that allows the current in both direction. Even you are changing the position of that element, the current it will allows in both direction. Okay. So if it allows the current direction only in one direction, then that is called as unilateral. If it is allows the current flow in both direction and that current will be the same one, then it is called as bilateral element. If the element does not allow the current in both direction, and if even though it allows, and if the value will be different, then it is called as unilateral element. My example kai bilaterals are bilaterals examples are the resistor, inductors, capacitor. So example I have shown here. The concept of bilateral element we can understand with the help of this diagram. So this is a resistor or impedance they have taken. Resistor, inductor, capacitor, any one you can assume. Suppose this is a resistor. मग व्होल्टेज सोर्स मी असं कनेक्ट केला, इथं व्होल्टेज सोर्स कनेक्ट केला प्लस मायनस, इथे एक व्होल्टेज सोर्स आहे समजा प्लस मायनस. I have connected across this resistor. So how the current will flow now? How the current will flow? So current will flow in this direction. बरोबर आहे? Because suppose this is 5 volt and this is the resistor R. So current will flow in this direction. So plus is polarity here across this resistor, minus is here. Okay, but values become same. Means V divided by R केले की तुमचा हा current चा value येतो. That current value. The value is I. Okay. Now suppose I will give the reverse. Suppose I am connecting the voltage source reverse. So plus is here and minus is here. Now I will connect this one. So how was the current direction now? How will be the current direction now? It will be in the opposite direction. So this will be the I. So in that case, this becomes positive and this becomes negative. But the value of this current I will remain same. Even though you are changing the position of either resistor or voltage source, the current will be the same and it will allow the current in both directions. And both the current will be the same. In that case, this element is called as what? Bilateral. So capacitor is also bilateral as well as inductor is also a bilateral. Understood? So unilateral means what? The unilateral means it will allow the current only in one direction. It will allow the current only in one direction. Okay. So I will show. So unilateral is shown here. So the unilateral elements are those that allow the current in only one direction. Hence, they offer the different impedances in both directions. So examples are diode, SCR. So how the diodes will be there? Suppose this is the diode, p-n junction diode. So when anode is more positive with respect to cathode, means 0.7 volt पेक्षा जास्त असेल तरच तुमचं इलेक्ट्रॉनिक करंटचा डायरेक्शन कसं असणार असं असणार. So this I will call it as ID. When anode is more positive with respect to cathode, or if potential difference between these two is more than 0.7, then current will flow and some current will get, depends on the voltage. Suppose it is reverse bias. Now this is the diode and you are applying, suppose the voltage source here 5 volt in this direction. Take resistor from the 1K. So how will be the direction of current? It will be like this. But if you are comparing, this positive is connected to here, negative is here. So this will becomes in a reverse bias. जेव्हा diode reverse bias असतो, current value किती असतो? 0. I is equal to 0. Actually, it is not 0. It is some microampere, very small, nano ampere. So very small. So we can consider by default 0. So if the direction will, if this diode you are going to consider, then it will not allow the current in opposite direction. It will allow only direction from anode to cathode. Okay, so this element is called as what? Unilateral element. Similarly, SCR is there. Then transistor also we can consider. So all these are the unilateral elements. Okay. Next, lumped and distributed. So I will tell it orally. Lumped elements means, lumped network means the network which consisting of elements of small size. The lumped network means, lumped network I will try. The lumped network means the elements having small size. Having small size. So what are the elements? Resistors, inductors, capacitors. Okay. So the circuit which is designed by the elements having small size, those are considered as a lumped network. So example here, resistor, inductor, and capacitor. Similarly, distributed means what? Distributed means the network elements which consisting of elements of having large size, mote mote equipment. जसं distributed system is used for power distribution if you consider. पॉवर डिस्ट्रीब्युशनला काय काय लागतं? ट्रान्सफॉर्मेशन लागतं, बरोबर आहे. त्याच्यानंतर लॉंग अँड वायर्स लागतात, जे तुम्ही आता विजेची तार वगैरे बघत असाल. त्याच्यानंतर पोल्स लागतात. आर गेटिंग माय पॉइंट? सो these all required in the distributed system. Distributed system means your network. Telephone network you can consider. Telephone network साठी काय काय लागतात? Anyone can tell? Telephone network, what are the different parts are there in the telephone network? You are all using mobiles. काय काय लागतं तुम्हाला? सिग्नल मिळण्यासाठी कुठल्या कुठल्या गोष्टी लागतात? You are learning in analog communication. First of all, your mobile, that is a receiver. बरोबर आहे. Next one, the transmitter is required. So transmitter means another mobile you can consider, or server station. Next, mobile communication in between, you require different antennas, you require centers, you require the different parts of the mobile network. Antennas आपण consider करूया, satellite लागणार. So all these are considered as a distributed system. Okay, so these requires the big devices, big telecommunication or big communication equipments, and it is interconnected to each other through wireless or through wire. So that's why it is called as a distributed system. So this is the main difference between lumped and distributed. So whatever we are going to understand the network, those are related to lump. Those are related to lump. We are not talking about, we are not discussing any distributed network in our subject. Okay, so for our subject, what is required? We require passive elements. Passive elements we require, that is resistor, inductor, capacitor. Passive we can consider passive. Second one is linear, that is resistor, inductor, capacitor. Third one is bilateral. And fourth one is lumped. So these parts, these types we require entire in our subject. So everyone understood now the types of network elements. Any questions from your side? Yes or no?
No, sir.
Okay. So types of sources we have covered. And source transformation also we have covered in the prerequisite. Okay. So next PPT, whether you are observing clearly. Are you observing clearly, kids?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So to start from the unit number 1. Okay. So all these 4 theorems we have to understand. These 4 theorems we require in our syllabus for the final semester for this exam, university examination, as well as this all theorems we require for any competitive examination. Example we can consider as a GATE exam. For GATE exam it is required all theorems. Then for IES exam it is required Indian Engineering Service class 1 officer. UPSC exam in that we require. Then in the interview also they may ask the question on these theorems if it is the company related to core. Next, these theorems also requires in a public sector examination like BEL, BHEL, okay, DRDO. असे जे काही पब्लिक सेक्टर कंपनीज आहेत गव्हर्नमेंटचे त्याच्यामध्ये जे काही रिटर्न टेस्ट होईल त्याच्यामध्ये हे थेरम विचारले जातील. Or in communication like Prasar Bharati or anything. So this chapter have more weightage for the any competitive examination, as well as if you are referring the question papers of this subject previous, if you are referring the 5 to 6 question papers, except this pandemic situation, because in pandemic situation the exam was held with the help of MCQ. So before that, in 2019, in 2018, 17, if you consider the question papers from the university website related to this subject, then you found that they can ask the questions, problematical questions they ask. They ask the questions based on the numerical examples most of the times. Nearly 95% times they are asking the questions on numerical examples. So we have to focus morely on how to solve the examples based on these theorems. Next upon, one more observation from those question papers, it is that if you are observing, then no question had repeated anywhere in those question papers based on this unit number 1. म्हणजे युनिट नंबर 1 चे क्वेश्चन्स कधी रिपीट झालेले नाहीत. Okay. So that is the specialty of this unit number 1. That's why the students are facing more problems, because when they are attempting the exam, this semester end examination, each and every time they are getting the new question. So students are trying and they are attempting, but they are not confident whether my answer is correct or not. Okay, but if you are solving with the help of procedure, what I will tell how to solve and which procedure you have to remember. If you are solving according to that, and if your calculation is also correct, then and then you can get the full marks. So very sensitive chapter is there. If you are making the practice, it will become easy and it will become interesting. So it totally depends on your attention and your study, your hard work and study, I will tell. And next third is practice. More solved as well as unsolved examples you can try. And if you are getting perfect, then this chapter will become very easy. And those who are feeling that this chapter is easy, they can get more marks or they can score more in this subject. Are you getting my point? So that's why all these prerequisites we taken, which is required for this particular unit number 1. So we can start now the unit number 1. In that, the network elements, we have seen the types of network elements and types of sources we have discussed. Now, the network theorems are there 4. Total 4 network theorems are there for your syllabus. So first is superposition theorem. Second one is Thevenin's theorem. Third one is Norton's theorem. And fourth one is maximum power transfer theorem. So these 4 theorems are there in your syllabus. Next, we can start today. We can discuss the theoretical part of first superposition theorem. And in the next lecture, we can start to solve the numerical example based on the superposition theorem. So what we can do, we can complete the first theoretical part of each theorem. And suppose we are starting today the superposition theorem. So we can complete the theoretical part and then immediately we can start to solve the numerical examples. Like this, we can complete all these 4 theorems. Okay. So next one, superposition theorem. So any theorem we can understand, we can discuss with the help of these 4 to 5 points. Any theorem we can consider. Just what I will replace, what is Thevenin's theorem, how to where we can apply Thevenin's theorem, how to apply, procedure to apply, and application. So these all parameters will remain same. Only the theorem name will change. So by using these 5 pointers, we have to understand each and every theorem. Are you getting my point? प्रत्येक गोष्ट तुम्हाला शिकायची जर असेल तर तुम्हाला 3 गोष्टी समजायला असायला पाहिजे. Anyone can tell what are the 3 points? Anything, any subject, anything in your life. If you want to understand, the 3 questions will be there always. Common 3 questions. Can you tell what are these 3 questions? मला आज सुपरपोजिशन थेरम शिकायचा आहे. I want to learn superposition theorem. So what will be the question in my mind? In your mind, what will be the questions?
How to learn, how to understand,
Yes.
and how to execute.
Okay. So you are using only one question. How? बरोबर आहे? Yes. So I have 3 questions. So first is what? First is what? म्हणजे काय आहे? Second one is how? म्हणजे सुपरपोजिशन थेरम कसं आहे, ते कसं अप्लाय करायचं. ओके. त्याच्यानंतर थर्ड आहे वाय. का शिकायचं, त्याचं यूज काय, त्याचे ऍप्लिकेशन्स काय, त्याचा मला काय फायदा होणार आहे. Are you getting my point? So anything, whenever you are going to learn, if you are getting the answer of these 3 questions, what means काय आहे, how means काय करायचं किंवा त्यात काय करायचं, कसं अप्लाय करायचं, प्रोसिजर, and why म्हणजे त्याचे ऍप्लिकेशन्स, त्याचे यूज. Are you getting my point? So if you are getting answers of these 3 questions, you never forget any concept. You never forget any concept. So always think, always learn anything with the help of these 3 particular questions. Are you getting my point? So with the help of those 3 common points, we can understand all theorems, all concepts throughout this particular NTA subject. So superposition theorem, what is superposition theorem? म्हणजे हे theorem नक्की काय आहे, theorem कसा अंडरस्टँड करून घ्यायचं, त्याच्यात कंटेंट काय, that we can understand. Next, where we can apply the superposition theorem, means any conditions are there, any conditions are there, so that we can apply the superposition theorem. Or then how to apply, म्हणजे कसं अप्लाय करायचं. Then procedure, how and procedure, that almost same. Procedure to apply superposition theorem. SPT म्हणजे superposition theorem, in short SPT, superposition theorem. Next, application. Why? Applications of SPT. Now, superposition theorem is that the superposition theorem म्हणजेच नक्की काय, आपल्याला डोक्यात जरा विचार येणार, बरोबर की नाही. So I have used these animations here. की नक्की काय. So the superposition theorem states that in a linear circuit, so first of all, this theorem is like 3 to 4 sentences. You have to remember the theorem because 4 theorems we have to remember. So how to remember the theorem? There is a logic. There is a logic. Don't mug up. पाठ करू नका. लॉजिकली लक्षात ठेवलं तर तुम्ही theorem कधी विसरणार नाही. Okay. So I will tell that how to remember the logic. The superposition theorem states that in a linear circuit, this is the first condition actually. because superposition theorem cannot apply for non-linear. Non-linear circuit साठी apply होत नाही. It is applicable for only linear circuit. Means it should consist resistor, inductor, capacitor. It should not consist any diode, transistor, then JFET, MOSFET like this. Okay, so it is applicable for only the circuit which is linear. So in a linear circuit, next condition is containing or consisting two or more independent sources. Dependent source किती आहेत मला माहित नाही, ते मेजर करायचं पण नाही. But we have to measure how many independent sources are there. So minimum, what is the condition? Minimum 2 should be there. 2 independent sources should be there. मग independent sources म्हणजे काय, ज्याचं व्हॅल्यू फिक्स आहे. It may be current source, it may be voltage source, but the number of independent sources present in the given network should be minimum 2. Maximum it may be anything. Okay, so in a linear circuit containing 2 or more independent sources, then the response in any element is equal to. Now anyone can tell what is the meaning of response? What do you mean by the response? Anyone can tell what do you mean by the response? In any element. Element may be resistor, inductor, capacitor. मग response काय असणार आहे? The response means parameter, circuit parameter. So what do you mean by the circuit parameter? Response, it is current or voltage. The response in any element means the current passing through any element or voltage across any element. That is equal to the algebraic sum of, sum means addition, algebraic sum of responses caused by individual sources acting alone while other sources are non-operative. हे statement समजायला थोडं difficult आहे, so I will explain that. The response in any element is equal to algebraic sum of responses caused by individual sources acting alone while all other sources are non-operative. तुम्हाला एक example सांगतो इथे. So this is the voltage source. Suppose this is the 5 volt. Suppose this is 5 ohm. And here, suppose this is one more resistor is here. And this is 10 ohm. And here current source is there. And this current is 2 ampere. Now, can we apply the superposition theorem for this circuit? Can we apply? Hello? A division students are not responding properly. B division students are suddenly giving the answers. This is the interactive session. फक्त मी बोलत राहणार आणि तुम्ही ऐकत राहणार. No. Whenever I will ask some questions, you have to reply if you are understanding. Yes. Otherwise, I will ask one by one then.
Yes, sir.
Apply, sir.
We can apply, no? Because all
Yes,
are the
sir.
linear elements. All are the linear elements. Second thing, how many independent sources are there here?
2.
Yes.
Three.
So we can, yes. So we can apply, means 5 volt and 2 ampere. These are the 2 independent sources are there. We can. Now the question is, find out the current passing through this 10 ohm. Find out the current passing through 10 ohm using superposition theorem. This is the question. So आता मला सांगा, हे इंटरकनेक्टेड आहे नेटवर्क. 10 ओम मधून जे करंट फ्लो होणार आहे, सपोज 10 हा आय करंट आहे, आय विल कॉल इट एज आय करंट. मग हा आय करंट जो आहे तो हा 5 व्होल्ट मुळे असणार आहे का 2 एम्पियर मुळेच असणार आहे का दोन्ही मुळे असणार आहे? Tell me now, the current which will flow through 10 ohm, that is due to only 5 volt or that is due to only 2 ampere current source or that is due to the combine effect?
Combining.
Combine effect.
Yes, yes. So nodal analysis यूज करून तुम्ही हे आन्सर काढू शकता. बरोबर आहे. हा एक प्रिन्सिपल नोड आहे, हा ग्राउंड आहे. मग तुम्ही इथं V अज्युम करा, V -5 डिवायडेड बाय 5 आणि इकडे -2 घ्या आणि इकडे V डिवायडेड बाय 10 करा. V चा आन्सर येईल. मग V डिवायडेड बाय 10 केले काय म्हणजे टोटल तुम्ही काढू शकता. पण सुपरपोजिशन थेरम मध्ये मला काय करायचंय, द रिस्पॉन्स इन एनी एलिमेंट, म्हणजे रिस्पॉन्स म्हणजे काय, करंट. एनी एलिमेंट मीन्स 10 ओम. द रिस्पॉन्स इन एनी एलिमेंट इज इक्वल टू मला डायरेक्ट काढायचं नाहीये, मग इनडायरेक्ट मेथडनी काढायचं. म्हणजे काय, द अल्जेब्रिक सम ऑफ रिस्पॉन्सेस कॉज्ड बाय इंडिव्हिज्युअल सोर्सेस ऍक्टिंग अलोन. ओके, म्हणजे मला हे आन्सर फाइंड आउट करायचंय की फक्त 5 व्होल्ट मुळे किती करंट पास होणार आहे 10 ओम मधून, पहिला तो काढायचा. त्याच्यानंतर फक्त 2 एम्पियर करंट सोर्स मुळे हे करंट किती आहे ते मला फाइंड आउट करायचं आहे. हे काढू शकतो का आपण? कॅन वी फाइंड?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
so we are going to find out the current passing through this 10 ohm only due to 5 volt in the first calculation. In the second calculation, the current passing through this 10 ohm only due to 2 ampere. बरोबर आहे. मग त्या दोघांचे ऍडिशन करायचे, we have to do the addition of responses caused by individual sources. Then if you are taking the addition, that will give the final answer I. Are you getting my point? So this we are doing in the superposition theorem. Are you understanding now the meaning of that statement? That is, the algebraic the response in any element is equal to algebraic sum of responses caused by individual sources acting alone. आता हे कंडिशन तुम्हाला अजून सांगितलेलं नाही. While other sources are non-operative. So what do you mean by this? That is given in the second paragraph. That is, all other ideal voltage sources are replaced by short circuit and all ideal current sources are replaced by open circuit across their terminal. Okay, so as a statement, while other sources are non-operative, means I will tell the meaning here. Just wait. Okay, now I will remove this part. So while we are finding here the sum of responses caused by individual sources. आता individual source कुठले घेतले आपण? 5 volt. Okay, while other sources are non-operative, म्हणजे सेकंड सोर्स जो आहे किंवा बाकीचे जे काही सोर्सेस आहेत ते नॉन ऑपरेटिव्ह करायचे. आता इथं कुठला सोर्स होता? विच सोर्स वॉज देअर? करंट सोर्स और वोल्टेज सोर्स?
Current source.
करंट सोर्स, अँड इट इज इंडिपेंडेंट. ओके, सो किंवा त्याला आयडियल म्हणूया, आयडियल करंट सोर्स होता. सो आयडियल करंट सोर्स काय करायचं आपल्याला? करंट सोर्सेस आर रिप्लेस बाय ओपन सर्किट. मग इथं करंट सोर्स होता ना, तो ओपन केला मी. मग हा ओपन झाल्यानंतर ह्याच्यातलं करंट किती फ्लो होते, दॅट आय विल टेक ॲज अ I1. That I will take as a I1. Okay, this is the first thing. So I will calculate this I1 by using simple Ohm's law. म्हणजे इथं I1 चं काय येणार सांगा? 5 आणि 10 हे दोन्ही सिरीज मध्ये येणार आता, कारण करंट इकडे. Okay, so current will flow in this series loop. 5 divided by 15. So I1 is equal to, we can easily use the Ohm's law. Total voltage 5 divided by 5 plus 10, that is the 15. This will be the current. किंवा 1/3 म्हणजे 0.33 ampere. This is the I1 current due to only 5 volt. Okay, now next one. आता मी उलट सांगतो तुम्हाला. Second thing. Now what we can do here? Now I will take this 2 ampere current source in this direction. And I will short this voltage source. कारण voltage source काय करायचं आहे? voltage, so all ideal voltage source, we have to make it short. Okay. Now current source I am keeping as it is, and I am shorting the voltage source. मग इथं काय होणार, I2 I1 च्या ऐवजी आता काय होणार, I2 होणार. Now we have to find what is the current flowing through this 10 ohm due to this 2 ampere, while other sources are non-operative. Non-operative म्हणजे काय करायचं ते खाली दिले, that given in the below paragraph. If it is voltage source, we have to short it. If it is current source, then we have to open it. Now we are keeping this source as it is. Due to this, what will be the current flowing through this? We are going to find out. Now anyone can tell, this is the current source up to this one, 2 ampere is there. Okay, this is the 2 ampere. So we can use the current division here. So I2 is equal to, because two branches are parallel to each other here, this and 5 and 10. So current division is total current 2 into opposite branch resistor, 10 च्या opposite कुठला 5, divided by 5 immediately you can write, plus ज्याच्यातून हे करंट फ्लो होणार आहे तो ब्रांच रेजिस्टन्स किती आहे 10. So 10 divided by 15, 5 into 10 means 10. 10 divided by 15 किती येणार, 2/3 म्हणजे 0.66. 0.67 किंवा 0.67, 66 you can take. So I1 and I2 we got. Now finally by superposition theorem we have to take the algebraic sum. Algebraic sum म्हणजेच I आपल्याला find out करायचं. So I is equal to, that is nothing but current passing through 10 ohm due to all sources acting simultaneously is equal to I1 plus I2. So I1 is 0.33 and I2 is 0.67. So it will give the 1 ampere. So this is your answer. मग हे आपलं बरोबर आहे की नाही, हे कसं करणार? So you can cross check by using nodal analysis. तुम्ही नोडलनी ते सॉल्व करा, you can get the same answer 1 ampere. Are you getting my point? So this is what superposition theorem. Everyone understood now?
Yes, sir.
So suppose 3 independent sources will be there. समजा 2 च्या ऐवजी 3 independent sources आहेत, काय करायचं मग? Suppose this the circuit is like this, plus minus 5 volt. This is resistor 5 ohm. Next, this is resistor 10 ohm. This is resistor 15 ohm. This is current source 2 ampere. This is suppose 20 ohm. And this voltage source is suppose 10 volt. Okay, the 10 volt आहे. So this you can consider as a 10 volt. So the question is the current passing through this 15 ohm. We have to find out. Now how you can find out this current? How you can find out this current now? What you are going to do by using superposition theorem? If the question is like this, find out current passing through 15 ohm by using superposition theorem. काय करणार पहिला? Yes. First step is what? You have to observe the circuit, whether all elements are linear. Yes, all elements are linear. Second one is what? You have to observe how many independent sources are there. How many are there?
3 independent sources.
Yes, so it is more than 2. Okay, more than 2 will be there, or minimum 2 we require. If more than that, it will be okay. मग आपल्याकडे 3 आहेत. मग आता रिस्पॉन्स काय आहे? What is the response you have to calculate? The current which is passing through 15 ohm. That is the response. Now you have to find out the current passing through 15 ohm due to 5 volt. That is the I1. Next, due to 2 ampere current source, that is I2. And due to 10 volt voltage source, that is I3. So I1, I2, I3. These 3 responses you have to calculate. And then you have to take the addition of all these I1 plus I2 plus I3. That will give the answer of I. Are you understanding this? Current passing through 15 ohm, that is I1 due to 5 volt. Current passing through 15 ohm, that is I2 due to 2 ampere. And current passing through this 15 ohm, that is I3 due to this 10 volt. So if you are taking finally addition, that will use the answer of I. Are you getting my point? आता मला 5 volt घ्यायचं आहे. 5 volt घ्यायचं आणि I1 calculate करायचं. Suppose this is I1. Okay. Now at that time, what I have to do with respect to 2 ampere and 10 volt? काय करावं लागेल मला? 2 ampere काय करावं लागेल? 2 ampere current source काय करावं लागेल?
Open.
Yes, very good. So this I will open. And what about this 10 volt? What about this 10 volt? So this I will open. Okay. Current source has opened. There is no current source now. So what about this voltage source? 10 volt voltage source. काय करायचं 10 volt voltage source? ठेवायचं का शॉर्ट करायचं का ओपन करायचं?
Short.
Yes.
Short करायचं.
Yes. So if it is voltage source, then we have to make it short. मग तुमचं सर्किट बघा आता किती राहिला आता? So this is your remaining circuit. हा तर नक्कीच इथं काहीच नसतं. So that also you can remove like this. That also you can remain. You can eliminate. So this is your circuit now. So I1 you can find out by using nodal analysis. So first of all, you can find out this voltage now. This is outgoing, this is outgoing, and this is outgoing. You can mark V minus 5 divided by 5, V minus 0 divided by 10. Next, V minus here also it is 0. V minus 0 divided by addition of these two resistors. That is 35. So V you can get from that equation. Once you can get V divided by 35 करा तुम्हाला I1 चा answer मिळेल. So nodal analysis we can use here. We can get the answer of I1. So similarly, you can find out I2 due to the 2 ampere current source. And next you can find out I3 due to the 10 volt voltage source. So you can use current division, you can use Ohm's law, you can use KVL, KCL, you can use mesh analysis. काय use करतात doesn't matter. But I want answer of I1, I2, I3. Are you getting my point? So this is what superposition theorem. फक्त काय condition पाहिजे? The elements should be linear, all elements, and next one is it should consist of minimum 2 independent sources. Everything clear now?
Yes, sir.
Yes or no? Okay. So everyone understood now this theorem now? This theorem understood now? How to remember? In a linear circuit containing 2 or more independent sources. So this is what condition. Next, what to calculate? The response in any element is equal to algebraic sum of responses caused by individual sources acting alone while other sources are non-operative. Then how to calculate? By doing this one. That is given in the step number 2 or paragraph number 2. So in the next lecture, we can try to understand. So condition, next how to apply. Already I told all these points today with the help of example. Next steps. And this was the example we can solve. So number of examples we have to solve. So in the next lecture, we can solve the different examples. Okay. So we can stop for today. If you have any questions, you can tell me. You can ask. So number of examples we can the superposition theorem. There is a each time they can ask the questions. They are asking the question on superposition theorem for 4 marks. Minimum 4 marks, maximum 6 marks questions will be there in the university question paper. Okay, thank you everyone.